Hey guys, Miles here, and welcome back to Fantasia. Now, if you haven't already noticed, we're not in the forest anymore. I decided to walk down to Red Ridge, which every time I think of the name of the place, I think of WoW, but there are a lot of similarities, really. I quested here before on my Ranger, or whatever you're called when you're like level 20, and I didn't mind the place too much. Parts of the quests were cool, parts of the quests were kind of lame, but considering how quests are divvied up, I figured coming here and then going back to the forest would be a lot easier, so I went ahead and picked up a lot of the quests that were here, and actually all of them, except for the repeatable ones, so let's get started. Now, I believe I just have to kill a bunch of bugs and bats. Blood-sucking mosquitoes. Toxic mosquitoes. 25 seems like a lot, though. I have to collect a wooden toy box. And I have to collect bloody mosquito antennas and sandworms' feet. If it's a worm, how can it really have feet? Maybe that's just broken English again. So, how is everybody? Doing pretty good. Pretty good. I'm a little... I don't know if I want to use the word rusty, but I guess I could. Yeah, I'm a little rusty when it comes to, like, the typical MMO now, because I mentioned in one of my Rift videos that I have been playing so much Guild Wars 2 that it's kind of ridiculous. But I just love the game. I can't help it. It's one of the few games that I played in a long time that I just didn't want to stop playing. So, and I'm not sure if any of you ever played it before, but it's very different from this especially. You're a lot more active. And that's probably why I enjoy it so much. Because I'm not just sitting poking buttons, I'm like moving around and stuff all the time. But yeah, so, apologize if I'm kinda shit today. Oh my god, I have to kill 25 of these. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got a chest. But yeah, I've been playing a Ranger, primarily, on Guild Wars. I've also been fooling around with the Necromancer, and an Elementalist, and a Warrior. Now, I had to make a Warrior because I played a Warrior in the first Guild Wars. I play a Warrior, or something like it, in pretty much every game I play. It's just something I do, and I gotta say I really like it. That's what I was playing today. It has its problems, like it's not quite perfect, but it's still really fun, so can't complain too much. I'm gonna have to take a potion. There you go. Killing this is gonna take me forever if I have to kill 25 of a different kind, too. Man. So, what would you guys think of me doing videos on Guild Wars? I'm not really sure what I would do. I don't really want to do a playthrough of the game. Because, I mean, for one, they don't really like you doing videos of, like, story content, because it kind of wrecks it for everyone else, and it's very story-based. But I don't know, I feel like I want to do something for it, I just don't know what yet. Oh, and in side note, for any of you who keep up on area news or were a fan of the Star Wars Online game, I saw that they've been sort of taken over by area in a way. And I'm not really sure what I think about that. I played it when it first came out, I beta tested it, and I bought it and the whole bit, and then it went free, and I played it for about a month after that. And I mean, I really liked the game. It was just one of those games that I played at the beginning, and then I just kind of let die, in a way. And I never would have expected Area to take over anything in regards to the game at all. Not saying that I have a problem with Area, but just, I really thought they were on like a whole different level. Maybe it's because I didn't know how big Area really was, or maybe I just didn't know. I don't know. It had to have been my own ignorance, I guess. But what do you guys think about that? And have you guys tried to play it yet? I mean, I don't know. On my old computer, it ran really, really poorly. I'll be honest with you. So, if you got a low-end computer, or you run, like, Grand Fantasia with lag, for example, I wouldn't even waste your time, because it's not going to run well, unless they've made some serious renovations to, well, that whole system, really. But if you think your computer can run it and you give it a try, then you should let me know what you think, because I really like the game. I played a Scoundrel up to, I want to say like level 35, maybe? At the time the level cap was only 50, but because my computer was so shit, I didn't really get to play a lot of it. Did I kill all of those? Or did I just walk away for no reason? Yep. Okay. All the way down there. Wow. But anyway. For those of you who don't know, playing a Scoundrel, you're like a rogue, but you also have a healing spec if you want to go into it. So you're like a combat medic. And I really liked it. I mean, I'm not typically a healer. I played a Sith warrior for a while, but to be honest, I thought their story was a little sad. Not sad in, like, it was physically sad, and I was disappointed. And I played a bounty hunter, which I absolutely loved the shit out of, let me tell you. Great idea for tanking, even though it was a little weird being a half-ranged tank. But, if you're looking for a free game and you don't have a bad computer, give it a shot. I don't know if there's any sort of like events going on because of the such drastic changes. I really need to do some research on it. Not so much the game, but just the changing of hands on who the game is like. I'm not really sure what the word I'm looking for is here. Like, published by, I guess you could say, because the Area is more like a publisher than like a maker. But I don't know, it struck me as odd that something that had the potential to be so massive is in the same boat as, well, Grand Fantasia. And again, not knocking Grand Fantasia, but no one ever called it a WoW killer. So, I mean, let's be honest with each other here. Whoa. There I go losing my focus again. Speaking of WoW, if any of you have played that, I heard recently, although I'm sure it's been a while since this news was actually released, that the other game that they were going to work on, Titan, has been pushed back. And I honestly don't know why. It's like they just went back to the drawing board. And I think that's a little strange that something that they've worked on for so long, they're just gonna scrap and do over. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna keep some stuff, but I don't know if they ever gave word on why or anything like that, but it sounds like a cool idea from what they've released, but they haven't really released a lot, so it's hard to say. I know that they have to revamp their combat system because it's just the thing of the past. I mean, no new game is going to have that same combat system unless the creators are stupid. Let's just be honest. hot air balloon. Where was I? It's just not active enough. And, like, the combat in Guild Wars, for example. Terra came out before Guild Wars, technically. And a lot of people played it just to get ready for the new combat system in Guild Wars, but then after Guild Wars came out, Terra kind of just went away, and then ended up becoming free, because it had problems. But that whole combat system itself is... I don't want to necessarily say it's the future, because it's kind of already happening, but the playstyle that this game and WoW has, but WoW is trying to get away from, but can't really because of engine difficulties, it's just not going to exist anymore. And I'm sure 20 years from now, when they're making more online games, because, I mean, online gaming isn't gonna go away, combat systems like this are gonna be, like, on par with text-based adventure games to a lot of people, just because of how old it really is. I don't know the average age of the demographic that watch these videos, but a combat system like this has been around almost as long as the internet has. So, to put it into perspective, it's pretty aged. And, I mean, it's aged well, but everything has its day. Just like even WoW does. No, I'm sorry, I do not want to join your guild. Wow, your guild name is Dominatrix, okay. Why did they allow that as a name? I don't understand. Anyway, what was I saying? Got distracted by the Dominatrix thing. WoW will inevitably die too, but it's because of those engine restrictions and the fact that they can't revamp their combat. Now, they did a damn good job with Cataclysm in trying to fix all of the world. Which, incidentally, they fix it by breaking it, but I mean, still, they did a good job at their goal. And they've really shown mastery of the craft, if you know what I mean. But it will inevitably die, and hopefully Blizzard can keep it up and make another game and prove that it wasn't just luck, really. But, I mean, if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. And I'm really excited to see what other advancements can be made in combat that are actually, like, good things, you know? Because if you don't know anything about Guild Wars combat, you really don't have very many buttons, which, in all honesty, I don't really like. You only have 10. Now, you pick from a list of skills to go in there, and your first 5 skills are based off of the weapon you're using. So, like, your first 3 skills is based off the weapon in your main hand, unless you're using a 2-handed weapon, then it does all 5, and then the last 2 are based off the weapon in your offhand. But the overall feel is you don't really have to target anything. I mean, you can, but you don't really have to target anything, and you have to physically move to dodge and stuff like that. And I really like it. As I said, I wish you could have more buttons just because I like added complexity, but I mean, it works. It works the way it works the way it's supposed to. I played the first Guild Wars. You only had 8 buttons there. There's also not really like a definitive like tank or healer. Really, I mean, you can make tanky or supporty builds, which are really important in doing dungeons, as I've learned recently. I've only been playing about a week now. But overall, you pretty much have to be self-sufficient, which I really like that. But if that was mixed with the added complexities, I would be really, really happy. Now, it may sound like I'm just rambling, which honestly I might be, and I apologize, but game combat, considering that 90% of the time it's what you're doing is pretty important. So, I mean, maybe I'm just overly opinionated on the matter, but if it's a game mechanic that you're doing all the time, you have to make sure it's good. Now, sure, a lot of games have things that you can do outside of just combat, which honestly is a fantastic idea, because without it, people would get bored. Do I actually need these? Let's kill one and find out. Well, that didn't do me any good. I might as well read the quest. Yep, bloody mosquitoes. But this is an example of what I'm talking about. I'm not even really paying attention. I'm just hitting a few buttons and spending the majority of my time talking. And I talk with my hands, even when no one else is in the room, because I'm a freak like that. And I'm still just steamrolling through things, not even really paying attention. And, I mean, some people might like that, but it isn't attention grabbing. And if it's not attention grabbing, then you won't have a solid player base. Now, sure, I've got myself into some pretty ridiculous spots in this game and others that are very similar like it. And there have been times that I've had to pay attention. And I've really been into fighting. But for the most part, it just doesn't happen. So, that sort of... I guess that's my justification for... Why is that person a chest? Did you see that? I mean, they're like stealth now. But... And they're just watching me. That's creepy. Have I been getting whispers or something? Actually, I think I know that person. I may be wrong, but I think they offered to help me with the dungeon. Hello. And if that's the case, then... We've talked back and forth on the forums, and... Well, here's a shout out there, Assassin-san. Or Assassin-san, sorry. Recording now, actually. Told them that they'll have a shout out in the next vid, so there you go. Kinda odd meeting you here, but there you go. I don't know how you're a chest, but... Saw that I needed help with, Prairie Caves. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, I did need help with Prairie Caves. Well, sorta. I'm honestly a little speechless that that this person's here. Let's see. Prefer to do it with people at that level. How many more of these do I need? For the record, when you're watching this, I don't want you to think that you just straight up, like, threw off my mojo. It's kind of a good thing that you got me to stop ranting. But, I still want to know how you're a chest. Like, how are you doing that? Let's see. Man, I still need a lot of these. I've got like none. I appreciate the offer, though. Let's see, what level is my ranger? Like 25? Whew, I'm getting so distracted. Let's see. Oh, wow, I almost killed myself not paying any attention. That would have been bad. Cooldown. I must have clicked that multiple times. Whoa, quest item. Alright, so, back to what I was talking about. My initial question for all of that was, do you think I should do Guild Wars videos? And if so, what do you think I should do them on? Because I initially planned on doing videos on events. Because today started the Queen's Jubilee event, which adds like an arena, which I thought was cool, but I don't really know anything about it yet. So I'm thinking about doing event coverage on that. Which would be cool if I did it in a good way, but I don't really know how I'm going to do it yet, so it might take a few days for me to throw something together. If you don't know anything about Guild Wars 2, then obviously this isn't going to matter to you at all. But if you're interested in the game, it's a good way to take a look at it. They try to do bi-weekly events, and it's a good way to break away from everything else that's happening in the world, which, I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to get bored playing Guild Wars, I'll be honest with you. But if you're just looking for something else to do, then those events are great. And they're always very well done, too. My chat is such a... Is there a way to change the chat colors, by chance? Oh, evidently they have a surprise for me. I'm not really sure what it would be, but I'll be right here. Almost killed myself again. There we go. But yeah, so just let me know about the whole Guild Wars thing, if you have any interest. And also, is there an event calendar for Grand Fantasia? Because I feel like there should have been an event that just happened not too long ago, or another one coming up. And I don't know when any of, like, the scheduled events are. And I'd like to do something for one of those, but I don't know anything about it. So, you know, if there's, like, a site that has an event calendar on it, or if it's just on the main site and I wasn't paying any attention, then just let me know, or if you have a suggestion on an event that comes up later that you'd like me to come back to, I'll totally do that. Because I really like the idea of doing event coverage, since normally they're pretty dynamic. But yeah, so this video is getting really long now. I'm gonna finish this quest because it's just taking me forever, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!